Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining me once again for Get Your Money Right with Yvonne. I'm Yvonne. How is it going? If you were looking for the spot to talk about saving for retirement, you are indeed in the correct place. And, if you feel like joining this community at the end, feel free. But, right now, enjoy this and we'll talk about it at the end, okay? So I want to start this the way I always do, and it's by me asking you, how are you doing? How's it faring? How are you faring? How's it going? I just always want to say that to people because we're all so busy, and sometimes we just forget to reach out to the person next to us and say, hey, how's it going? It can brighten somebody's day just to know that somebody is thinking about them. So I just want to make sure to always do that for you, okay? So, how is it going with me? Pretty well. I don't have a whole lot of complaints. I think I told you last time that I have refinanced my student loan debt and cut my interest rate in half, which was super important to me because I'm not going to be done for a few years. And I just want to make sure that the money I'm paying is going to reduce my debt rather than paying for interest. So I've got the wheels in motion. That is going along swimmingly and just very happy about that. So, another thing that we talked about on one of our sessions was the cost of things, expenses, and just kind of, looking at things now, how you expect them to go into the future. And I just wanted to tell you because several shows ago I said I go to either Sam's or Costco, the big warehouse stores, and I'll do my shopping. You have to be careful because you don't want to overbuy things. So, what did I get? I get lots of things. But my coffee, I found Seattle's Best years ago, like say 5 years ago. And when I first started getting this, it's a 2 pound bag ground up coffee. It was under $10. I think it was even under $9. I thought it tastes great and I'm keeping in line with my expenses and very, very pleased about that. Well, as the years have gone by, it's going up, the price of that coffee, up and up and up and up. And, part of it is just the cost of things changing. That happens. Some of it, I suspect, has to do with um, tariffs, because coffee isn't grown in the United States. So there's the tariffs. And then there's also the fuel, moving things. So let's say that when I bought the coffee the first time 5 years ago was $8.99 for that 2 pound bag. I went to order some more yesterday. That very same bag is now up to $16.98. Now, the bag lasts me for about 30 days, so it's still a great value. But just think about that. Is that more than doubled? Somewhere in that neighborhood is what it's done over 5 years. And so just keep that in mind with your regular expenses. Some of us think that when we retire, everything's going to get cheaper. Well, some things might, in that you don't need work clothes anymore and you're not driving to work every day. But other things still go up. There's no change in that. Your taxes, your property taxes, what else? Yeah, just groceries, utilities, what else? Different things. Your homeowners insurance, stuff like that. Things don't just stop in retirement, and just keep that in mind. Make, where we got it right here. Those of you who've been with me for a while, you know what this means, right? Tracking your expenses. So that top line is where I put my net income. So my net income includes my 401k contributions. So everything that comes out off my paycheck, that's my net. That next line, pay yourself first, whether it be your emergency savings or, in my case, I have that, but I also put money away to pay my taxes, but income taxes, getting it ready for tax season, putting it away for my insurance, all those different things. I stay on top of that. I put money away to do that because it's cheaper for me to pay things up front rather than financing them. And then the next items are my bills. And so I do it for now. And I'm also doing it for, you don't know what things are going to cost during retirement. You have no idea. But what do you do know? Expenses are going to go up. So just keep all that in mind. And that's why I say track everything. Until you write stuff down, you kind of don't know what you're spending. I remember the first maybe year that I was doing this, I had a shortfall. It's like, wait, I'm bringing in this, but all this other stuff is going out. So that's why I keep a list. That's why I keep track, because without the ability to do that, you don't really know what you're spending. So just whatever you do, start that, start that process. Do that. Please, 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 please. Alrighty, so what am I reading about? Lots of different things, because what I do is I will look at people's posts for some of those multi-million-dollar money manager people and just see the kinds of questions that people are asking. And I've already told you, we've talked about this a couple of times, when people say, will X amount last me until I retire? Well, until you do your expenses, how can anybody answer that question for you? You don't know until you write it down and you see if the money that you're going to have in retirement will cover all of your expenses. So just think about that. Just do that, if you will, please. Because, I read something. You remember I was telling you before that I have like 20 pages of this left. Finding Me by Oscar winner Viola Davis. She's just talking about her life and her experiences, her family, her upbringing. And she said something that really struck a chord with me. She said something along the lines of, I don't remember the exact quote, but that her dreams are bigger than her fears. And just think about that for just a second, because that can apply to all of us too, right? My dreams they change on a daily basis, like with most things. But the main thing, I just want to be happy. I want to create a life that's worthwhile, that feels good to me. And the things I want to try, the things that I want to do, I've put myself into the position to do that. And I want to carry that through my retirement years as well. Because, I have an idea of how I'd like retirement to look. And just remember, if you're saving money, hooray for you. I'm so glad. But just remember, it's not a piggy bank. It's not, okay, you've got this pool of money, give it to the kids, give it to the grandkids, take expensive vacations. Well, here's the thing. If you planned for it, great, great. In my case, I just want to live a happy, comfortable life. My husband and I can go on small trips on a regular basis, whether we take the camper or just go on a regular road trip and stay in a hotel, stuff like that. There's sites in the United States I want to see. There's sites international that I want to go and visit. All of those things. So I have a plan set up to take care of that. And the only way I can make all of that work is to put this plan together. That money that I am creating, that I'm putting money in consistently into my account, is for that purpose. And so, I was talking to a friend over the weekend over coffee, and I told him, what's that saying? If you fail to plan, then plan to fail. And I don't want that for any of you. So it doesn't have to be a big grandiose plan, nothing like that, nothing. It's all about just little small steps. Let's just start with baby steps. Let's just start with you, if you haven't already done so, making a plan to put in a consistent amount of money into a retirement account. You know, my sister and I chat quite often about money. We never did growing up because that was just not a subject we talked about. And so we were just saying, you know, we wished we had known things that we know now years ago. We can't we can't even go there. It kind of is what it is, right? And we can only live from here going forward. So don't beat yourself up about what you didn't do. Just start now. Just from wherever you are, at whatever stage in your working life you are in, just start. Just make that plan. Just be consistent. It's okay. There's no wrong way. There's no right way. There is just picking a way. And you know, like I said, this community is here to chat with you about it. If you ever have any questions, you know, no judgment. No, you should do this. Nope, 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 nope. Because we're all coming at this from a different time in our lives, different perspectives, and it's all okay. You know, just don't beat yourself up. Just go forward, okay? Now, with that, I think I'm going to get ready to wrap this up. You know, I don't want to start on a new subject now because, you know, we're coming up on the 12-minute mark, and I like to keep these at 15 minutes because I know you're busy, I'm busy, but we just want to make sure to make that time to share with one another, okay? And just remember, reach out if you've got any questions. Now, at the beginning, I mentioned if you're not a member of this community and wish to become one, we'd love to have you. Just know, completely and totally free. You know, I do these because I do wish that growing up I had had these resources available to me. Yes, you had different people out there talking about money and retirement, but they all came at me in a way that didn't make sense. You know, a lot of the suggestions they had are great if you have a lot of money, but that isn't me, and I'm guessing it's not for many of you. You know, you haven't put aside millions of dollars, and we're just looking to take care of ourselves going forward. So keep that in mind, okay? Alrighty, and then where it says subscribe, just click that. All you have to do is click it, follow the prompts, and what will happen is when I produce these segments, they will come directly to your email box. So you can read it, you can, you know, whatever happens to work for you, you can save it. How about you share it with other people? Because I'm betting there is somebody out there who is struggling, who needs some help, and it would just be nice if they had that opportunity. So share it with others, okay? And we just love to have everybody a part of this because, like I said, completely and totally free. We just want to take care of each other. That's the whole reason I do this, because I've told you guys I went to the school of hard knocks. I've been knocked around a little bit when it has to do with finances. So I've come into some things, I've seen some things, and more than happy to share a few things with you. The whole purpose for this, okay? So with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. And I just want to say, please be good to yourselves. You know, don't beat yourself up because you didn't do this sooner. It doesn't matter. You are looking at it now, and that's really all you can do. So be good to yourselves, be good to each other, because we're all that we have. You know, just try loving one another, just being supportive of each other. That would be such a help to other people. So be good to yourselves, be good to others, and I will see you next time on Get Your Money Right with Yvonne. I'm Yvonne, and until next time, okay? Bye-bye.